Hi guys, I'm Sami from Momomints. I make our polymer clay key charms that you see all over Instagram and on our website. So we get a lot of requests to do videos of how we make our charms, so I thought I'd do a quick and simple video today. I'm making some pandas today. It'll look something like this. This, of course, is not baked yet. Yeah. So what I use is Premo, and this is an oven baked clay. I really like the consistency of this. It's not too soft, and it holds details very well. So yeah, I usually buy a giant block because we make a lot of charms. So what you start off with is you just grab some clay like this. You break it up and then you make a little ball. So I just roll into a ball. I'm quite finicky about the shape I get, so I try my best to make it pretty perfect. Yeah, so once it's to my liking, that's the head. And then to make the ears, I grab a little bit more clay and I roll it into a ball again. So at this time, I'll stretch it out a little bit. So I'll flatten it on the tops and the bottoms. Sorry, I don't know where the focus is on here. Yeah. So you have something kind of like a flat pill shape, if you can see that. Yeah. So I will lay that down, and what I do is I just get watch, my tools are pretty primitive, but I just use a random business card, and then I look at approximately half and I cut it, my pill, in half. So yep, and you'll have something that's like this, half a pill. So I flatten that a little bit more. And then about maybe like 2/3 back, I stick on one ear. I stick on the other ear. Oops. So I like it a little bit wider apart, so I'm just going to move that. Alright, so now it's just pretty much smoothing everything together. I use this clay, I don't even know what they're called, but this clay working tool. I used to use a safety pin actually, and then I decided to get some good tools for myself. So what I do is I actually smooth in all these little bits together by pushing down around on all the edges. Now this does take a lot of time, but I really like to make my work look seamless. So it's kind of like melting the two parts together. There's the head. So I'll put that down. I got another one here, so I have two going. So then for the body, what I do is I just grab some clay, and again I roll it into a ball. And then after I roll into a ball, I kind of roll it flat a little bit into a cylinder. So you get something like this, where the cylinder is actually a tiny bit smaller at the top, wider at the bottom. Again, what I do is I go in and I smooth it all out with this tool. So, what I do is just push the clay from the body onto the head, all around. It's my first time working with the camera in front of me, so this is very interesting. So yeah, so everything's kind of pushed down. I use my fingers then to go in and smooth it and even it out a little bit. Yep, so once I'm happy with that from all angles, that is done, and that's the body. I have this other guy, he's not done yet, but I don't want to waste your guys' time, so I'll put him aside. I'll do him after. Sometimes after I put it on, I notice that the body's not exactly where I like it. And I'll actually, you can shift it a little bit. That's all right. You can take it and do it again. It's not a big deal. So yeah. So next step is to make the little feet. Yes, these are feet, by the way. They're not his hands. Let's put them in focus. So what I do for the feet is, again, I just grab some clay and you make little tiny round balls. Like about that size, and then I'll flatten it a little bit so it's like again, another little tiny pill. Right, so I'll make 2 of those, and then I'll have something like these. What I do is I just make sure that they're the same size. Oops. Then I'll go in and I'll just place it right at the bottom of the body. So one there and one there. So these feet are kind of like inspired by little hand-drawn anime characters, like from, I don't know, Sanrio or something, where they have their like feet up front when they're running. I have no idea if you guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it looks like that. It's kind of cute. Make sure that it's centered properly. And they're at the same height that you can still stand. So again, what I do is I push it down a little bit. And seriously, I don't know if it's completely necessary, or if other artists do this, but I'll actually go in and I'll smooth it out again, trying to make it seamless. I guess the clay is pretty good enough that it'll stick. So yeah, I'll smooth in the bottom of the feet and just the tops, like here, wherever my tool can reach without hitting any other part of the, or affecting any other part of the bear. So there you go. There's the second panda bear that I have here. He looks nothing like a panda bear, of course. He can be any kind of bear until you paint him. So what I do next is I use, I have a box of it here, but I have some eye pins that I use. Let me just pick one out. So here are a few that I have. I just get these at Michael's. you want a short one, something that's not too long. And then I take some pliers, and what I'll do is I'll just bend it a loop. This loop prevents it from coming out of your clay charm after you bake it. You want it to stay in really well, right? So I just bend a loop. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that. I just like it to be bent in the cross section. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but actually I guess it doesn't matter. But anyways, I like the loop to face forward like this. So what I'll do is I'll just, right between the ears at the top, I will push it in carefully. I find that if you have time and you can let your charm kind of sit for a night, the clay will harden slightly and it'll prevent it from denting too much when you push the eye pin in. So there you go. So you might see this little slit line here. What I do now is I actually will go get some clay, just a little bit, and I will put I'll flatten the ball of clay a little bit, and I'll put it on top here to cover up that slit. As you can see, just a flat round ball of clay, and so that kind of locks it in. I'll go in with the smoothing needle again, and I'll flatten it onto the head. So I'm just rolling the clay on like that. Yep. Yep, so again, roll it, and then I use my fingers again to just really, really smooth it out. So anyways, that's pretty much how I shape my panda charms. I hope that was interesting for you guys or helpful if you decide to make a bear of any sort. In the next video, I guess I'll show you guys how I paint the charms into a panda, or you can pretty much, like I said, paint it into any kind of bear that you'd like. So yeah, so here's the finished little bear. Right, we got a few going there. And this guy who has no feet yet.